here.
Okay.
So, with that being said, we're having some technical difficulties, but that's okay because y'all know I'm in Mexico. Anything can happen in anything you can
Yeah.
happen while you in Mexico, right, Rocky?
No doubt about it. And so I can long. Hey, I would blame this on the tequila. So um, you don't
You
really
can
have
blame
a
it
good
on the tequila.
excuse. Yeah. The
You can.
worm. The worm is what I would blame it on.
It's the worm.
Now, before we got disconnected, I asked Monica her theory on it's kind of like the power of sex, and in that
Mhm.
can you make someone love you through the act? Um, can you? My entire life, I've been told that the act is more than just the act. Um,
Mhm.
for me, for me, I don't think so.
No,
I
you've
don't.
been taught what?
I've been told that the act is more than just the act. I've been told that
It-
it has a deeper, greater meaning.
You think so?
I mean, I don't think so, but that's what it said.
But like I said, I think that's all propaganda. You know what I'm saying, Rocky? I really
Yeah,
think it's
absolutely.
propaganda. Welcome back, Mo.
Challenging, man. What is going on?
I just told Rocky, I said I'm in Mexico. Anything can happen when you're in Mexico. Y'all know that. I got sick in Mexico, so anything is possible. Um, Go ahead and ask her the question that you were asking her, Rocky, before she got booted.
No, no, no. What I was asking you is do you believe that through the act of sex you can make someone love you, care about you more, or just as much, or go to the next level with your relationship through the act of having sex?
Well, to be politically correct, God created sex to be truly an intimate experience. So I think that when you perform the act of sex, depending on where you are mentally and where you are connected with this individual, you can make a person fall in love with you, depending on what the good you have and how your body transforms into the next person. Because, like you said, we become a part of that person when you combine yourself together. So with the intimacy and the intimacy and the ecstasy hitting all corners at the same time, there is a capability of making someone have their nose open wide, fall in love with you, and it just depends on where they are mentally.
Okay. I mean,
Uh,
I, I, I
yeah.
want you to. I just want you to realize, right? I want you to go back and listen to this. Listen to your statement after we do the show tonight.
To me personally, I mean, if you ask me personally, me personally, um,
I mean, that's what you're here for.
personally, mm, woo,
I don't think. Here's the thing.
I think.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
finish your thought.
No, go ahead.
No, no, no.
No,
No,
no, go ahead.
let me say this since
I
everybody's the
can't.
cat has everybody's tongue. I'm just saying
It
this.
don't have.
Sex is just
Can you
a
hear me?
culmination of what you already feel for that person. I don't think you can take a person that you can have no respect for and then fuck them till till they have respect for you. I don't think you can do that. I think you can take a person that has respect for you, and through that connection, you guys can uh, share those moments together and create memories, and that special moments with people that didn't involve sex that I often think about. Not that are not related to sex. And I think you do the same thing with sex. Sex is just one more memory you can create vivid imagery with to recall a special time with that person.
I think that there's too much. I think that there's too much extra shit, right? And I mean, I think that, people put in, for real, why are you laughing at me, Rocky? I'm just saying, I think there's just too much extra shit. People talk about some, what God created sex for. How do we know what God created sex for? How do we know God created sex? That's assuming that everybody believes in the same God, in the same situation, right? So what we know is, as human beings, there's a natural urge that we have. Where it came from, that remains to be seen on what your belief system is. But the reality is, regardless of your belief system, you got the desire to screw, right? You can call it screwing, you can call it fucking, you can call it having sex, you can call it mating, you can call it a whole bunch of things. But the reality of it is, when you break it down like a fraction, the common denominator is they're putting something in you, and you're receiving it, and vice versa, or vice versa. Either it's oral copulation or whatever. And so what I'm saying is, and my whole point in my whole position in all of this is that it is what it is. Now, however you decide to fluff it up, however you romanticize it, however you make it work for you, that's fine. However, don't assume that other person believes the same shit you do.
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's the thing. There are people out there who just don't have sex just to be having sex. Okay, so you have to put them in a category, and it's the ones that just want to have sex. They're going to have sex. Okay. Now I'm going to put myself on the chopping block. Okay. Because at the end of the day, I'm not having sex with somebody just to be having sex. Okay. Kiki knows this as well as I do, and she laughs at me all the time. If I'm dating somebody, you're going to get 6 to 8 months before you can get cookie. Okay. Point blank. Because I'm just not giving it to you like that. That's just me. That's just how I am. Other people may feel like, okay, you do it on day one when you first meet them, and you're not, whatever. That's how they are. I'm not like that. And I'm not discrediting anybody. If a person feels like you just met this person and you got a connection and you want to go and have sex, that's fine. I'm all for it. That's just not me. That's just not what I've done all my years. I've never done that. That's just my whole makeup. Me personally, I believe that not anybody else, I need to get to know the person first, know them in a mental capacity before I know them in a physical capacity. Okay.
Now, can I ask you a question about that?
Wait a minute. So when I do that, when you get after all that's said and done, and I decide that this is the person that I'm going to do this with or whatever, I've never been in a situation where I've had short-term relationships. I've always had long-term. I was married for 15 years. I was in a relationship prior to that for 7 years. After that, I was in just out of relationship for like 5 years. So when I put myself in those situations, I know it's the person that I'm going to be with for a period of time. So I just don't, that's just me. I know people, and I'm not, like I said, I can't sit and say, how I feel about just banging, because I'm not like that. I just don't bang just to be banging.
Okay. So with all of that said, can I ask you a question about that?
Yes, you can.
My question to you is, where did you get that thought process from? Was that something that was taught to you?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Now I've always been taught that no sex before marriage. I didn't follow that. I sat down for myself one day, and I was sitting there, I was talking to my girlfriends, and each of my girlfriends were going through issues, and one was like, oh, I met this guy, and we had sex last night, and now he's not calling me, and then another girl was just like, so all these scenarios are going. So I was a late bloomer. So me in my mind, I was just like, of course I had psychology in college, but I was a late bloomer, and I said, you know what? Before I step and open myself out to someone, I want to get to know them.
I have a question, and this is just a simple question. All right. This has been your practice most of your adult life, right? Right.
It's been my practice ever since college.
Oh, okay. Were you adult when you went to college?
I was a child. I was a child.
Oh, okay. All right. So my question is, having this stance, ultimately, what has it gained you?
Wonderful relationships, a marriage, and so forth. So I have no complaints about how I characterize that.
Well, you do know, Monica, once you, and this is just life, and this is really a life thing. Once you have a set of values that you invest so much in, psychologically, you kind of make them work out to be whatever you want them to be.
Absolutely.
So here's my deal. I'm not saying you have a way that works for you and you're happy with it. And I'm happy that you're happy. The gratification you get from it is not from necessarily waiting for sex. I don't think that's where the gratification comes from. The gratification comes from your experience with that other person.
I think for you, it just sounds like for her, it's more of an emotional and mental connection thing for her in order for her to reach, a certain level of comfort in that situation. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mo.
Correct.
While me, right, being different from that, I don't have to have an emotional connection with you. In order to, if I have a physical connection where I'm attracted to you and I want to go ahead and do some things to you and allow you to do some things to me, then that's what we gonna do. It ain't got to be, the love American style shit. It ain't got to be the rainbows and lollipops. It ain't got to be all of that. Now, what I will say,
I'm an animal. I said I'm like you, Kiki. I'm an animal.
Yeah, I mean, it's an urge that I have as a mammal. So here's my thing though. If I choose to do all of those things, do I judge people who are like, oh, I gotta be, my head gotta be in the game? No, right? But what I say is, a lot of people who do, it's emotional as well as physical, as opposed to just understanding the physical act. Now, intimacy, I can understand you saying, somebody saying, oh, that's the physical and mental thing. That's a verb or whatever. But because you have to be actively intimate with somebody. You have to actively, be in tune with that person in terms of intimacy. But in terms of sex, it's just sex.
So let me ask you this, Monica. Since you have these gentlemen 8 months, generally, are they cool with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And all right, in that getting to know period, do you allow them to explore their own sexuality with other people? Is that permissible to you?
It's never been brought up in a conversation where I'm going to be with someone, because once the relation has started, it's almost like they have, dedicated themselves to this relationship and working it out and seeing where it goes. So I've never had a situation where, I'm going to explore and go out. I've never done that.
No. I'm saying.
No. He's never done. I'm saying it's never been done. We've never done that. It's never been like, okay, well, until you get. It's never been that. It's been like, okay, I'm in it. I'm in it with you because I want to be with you and I want to get to know you as much as. So if this is what you are, I'm going to respect you enough to travel this path with you. So do you think it's disrespectful if that's not the choice? I don't know. It never happened to me. I would feel like because at this point we're in a relationship. It's not like we're not, in a relationship. So it's almost like you're cheating on me. So you're cheating on me if you do that.
No.
Yeah. You're cheating on me if you do that.
But that was what he was asking. He was saying, have you ever allowed that to be permissible?
No, I said no. Because I never had we talk about it, and I tell him where my stance is, what I'm going to do, how I am in a relationship. Is this something that you're interested in? You okay with it? I mean, if you're not, if they say, well, you know what, I can't do that. You know, I ain't waiting 6 months to whatever.
No, what he's saying is, if he's like, okay, if you want me to wait 6 months on you, I can wait 6 months on you, but I'm gonna still need to go get these rocks off.
No, I've never had anybody. That's what I'm just like I said earlier. I've never had anybody say that. I've never had anybody say that. They've been like, you know,
so let me ask you this.
If he did say that to you, you would be like, no, I'm out.
See ya.
So what does him having sex with someone else mean to you? I want to know.
Well, first of all, if you're in a relationship, no, because if you're in a relationship with me, and we've said that we're going to be in this relationship, and this is what I, you know, this is how I feel, and this is what I want to do, and this is how I am, and you're in this relationship with me, why would you go and do that? Why would that even be a conversation? Why would that be a conversation? Because if you're in a relationship and you say, okay, you know what, Mo, I'm going to be in this relationship with you, and I want to get to know you. So you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to, you know, when you're ready, I'm going to be here for you. I don't need to go see anybody else. I don't need to do any of that.
I hear you, Mo. But what I'm hearing, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, is I'm hearing a whole lot of what I want, what I'm in this relationship, and I this, and I. Wait, hold on. So I'm hearing a whole lot of I in terms of Mo, in terms of what Mo wants in the relationship. What if he's saying to you, if I have a sex drive that's X, Y, and Z way, that doesn't have anything to do with me getting to know you, me caring about you, me wanting to be in a relationship with you. You don't want to have sex. I respect that, but I need
to. He said me. He said me. So I said I was saying I. So
let me finish the scenario. Let me finish the scenario, Mo. If he says to you, I respect you. I respect your decision not to have sex for 8 months. However, because you said I don't want this. However, I need to have sex. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to miss out. Well, I don't want to miss out on you. I don't think that one has anything to do with the other.
Okay. So again, I said 3 times, I've never had that person's
I got that. What you're missing is I'm asking you hypothetically.
I said, if he said that, you asked me, you said, if he said, would it be over? Yes. I said, it'd probably be over, done. Because you're cheating on me.
So
you're cheating on me, so it's good.
My question was simply is, what would be your rationale for ending or terminating the relationship based on the fact you are not having sex, he has a desire to have sex? It would be the same situation as you're on a diet, you don't eat dessert, so therefore he can't have dessert either because you're not eating it?
Okay, if you're in a relationship with someone, you've made a commitment in this relationship, okay, and you sat down with this person, you had a conversation, you both agreed to where you want to take this relationship and how it's going to unfold. That's something that was discussed between us two. That's something that we made a commitment to, and this is what we're going to do. So if you flip around and say, well, you know what? I can't commit to this type of relationship.
No, you're not asking.
Yes, I am. If he says that I'm not going to commit to this relationship, this is not what I want to have sex, I'm not going to wait for you, and I'm going to do then we're not going to have a relationship. We're not going to have a relationship because when I start up the relationship, that's how this is just me.
Dear.
Hold on. Y'all can talk over each other. Hold on. Okay, so you got to give each other the opportunity to speak. Okay, if he needs clarification, give him the opportunity to get clarification, because I'm missing both of what y'all saying, and I think y'all both have something good to say. So, go ahead. Follow up with your question, Rocky.
No, my question was not what it means to him, but what does it mean to you in a situation when the person is used to having sex. You don't want to have sex, but he still values, loves, and cares about you. What would it mean to you for him to explore his sexuality with someone else? That's what I'm asking. What does that, does it say something about, why would you end the relationship? Does it say something about his character? Does it say something about his willpower? What does it say to you about him that would cause you to terminate the relationship?
Okay, so the first, I'm gonna answer the question like you asked me before, because you asked me this question before, and now you're adding more to it. So I'm gonna answer it again. I'm gonna say this one thing, and then I'm gonna answer the next one. Again, if he chooses to say no, I need to, have sexual relationships, and so I do. There's nothing against his character. There's nothing. It's just that's something that I'm not willing to do in that type of relationship. If you feel like you are going to be in a relationship and you need to go out and you need to have sex or whatever, then fine, you go do that. I'm not going to hold that against you, but we're not going to be in a relationship. We could be cool, we could be friends, but that's not where I am in my life. And that's not where I choose to be in starting a relationship with someone. So when I have this conversation and I say, and we have this conversation, where do you see yourself, or what type of relationship are you looking for? What is this? What is that? With all of this is laid out on the table. So therefore, when it starts, I don't have that problem. I don't have someone coming to me and saying, Mo, I would prefer to, I don't want to wait. I'm a sex maniac. I need to have sex.
Let me just kind of move the conversation forward a little bit, because I don't want to get stuck on this thing. But to kind of put a bow on that part, Rocky, I wanted to comment on where you were going with this, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you were trying to go here. But I think a lot of times when we talk about relationships in terms of sex and that one component of the relationship being sex, people tend to get very territorial about that and think in terms of, if I'm with you and you be with somebody else, on some level that undercuts what we already have over here. And I think that in a lot of situations, people think, I would say people who have alternate ways of thinking in terms of relationships say, you know what, me fucking dude don't have nothing to do with how I feel about you. It's like, this don't have nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of times people try to compartmentalize everything in one little space when sex is just one component of a relationship. And it's like, if that's the one thing that people don't ever want to be flexible on, ever. Is that where you were going, Rocky?
Absolutely. I was going to the fact that relationships generally suffer in areas like communication, respect, honesty, and here, and I'm speaking from a male perspective here. I think if I were to fall in love and be crazy about Monica, and through our interactions, I understand that she is not in the market to have sex or what have you, I have to do one of two things. Turn down the opportunity to date someone that I feel I'm very compatible with, or two, lie. Neither one of those really are very healthy options for me. So I'm just saying, what have you lost if we date, fun, take trips, whatever? You're not giving up the cookies, but know that I'm good. Not detail-wise, but just know that I'm good until you are ready. I don't know what would be the harm in that, knowing how I would feel about you or knowing how someone else would feel about you.
Well, the harm in it is that shit ain't the kind of shit she wants. She wants you to understand
but that's
where she's coming from and respect those boundaries she has set forth in you, and if you don't, kick rocks with flip flops.
I understand that, but I'm looking. I understand that, but I don't consider those positions logical or practical. So I'm saying
for her it is.
Well, for her, I mean, first of all, I'm not the only person on the face of earth that feels that way. So, and everybody has a right. And everybody has a right to their opinion. So
no, don't get me wrong. I'm
not saying that. I'm just saying everybody has a right to how they want to mandate their relationship and what they will accept and not accept in a relationship. Like I said from the beginning, for me, this has been for me. I've been married for 15 years and I was with him for 23 years. Okay. So at the end of the day, he chose to wait. That's what he did. He chose to wait. And we end up getting married. So and after that, I was with another relationship right after that for 5 years. And before
No.
I'm just saying.
I'm not doubting.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
saying.
doubting
I
that
guess
works for you.
What I'm saying is, I guess it would have to be that you the people that you're compatible with that are able to say, you know what, I'm on the same path that you are. I understand totally what you are. I respect you enough to do that. A lot of people aren't strong enough to do that. A lot of people don't want to do that. I don't think it's a weakness.
I don't think it's a weakness.
A lot of people lie.
A lot of people. And then that's what I'm saying. A lot of people have different ways of doing that, but that doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it wrong. It's just my
At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen,
it's just what I want to do.
Damn.
It's just what I want to do. And if nobody agrees with it, I'm not going to be.
Hold on. For those of you guys who just may be tuning in, this is Playing Devil's Advocate. I am your host, Miss Kiki, the consummate provocateur. And tonight we are talking about it's just sex. Damn. And it's gotten a little, combative here and there because Rocky's challenging Mo's position on what she wants, and which is actually a challenge that a lot of people have. You know what I mean? It's not just Mo and Rocky having this challenge. It's the challenge that I struggle with other people having this conversation. So if you want to be a part of the conversation, the chat room is open. Get busy. Post our Facebook wall at facebook.com/Playing Devil's Advocate, or send us a tweet at PDA_Miss Kiki. And I promise we'll get the comments at some point. I know our drink of the week is late. It's coming up. I promise it is. But we got some things that we need to talk about. Rocky, I know you had something you wanted to say, and I wanted to start talking about some of the things, some situations that we would say, you know what? It's just sex. Damn. So go ahead, Rocky. Give me your comment, and then we're going to move right on along.
No. And I was trying not, and this is where we keep going back to it, Monica, is that I understand your moral position. But just like when my son asked me, hey, can I have candy before I go to bed? I can say, hey, he can ask me, why can't I have candy before I go to bed? And I can say, because I said so. That really doesn't give him any perspective on the real reason why he shouldn't eat candy before I go to bed. And I'm asking you to not just, regurgitate your values about how you feel about it. I'm just saying, logically speaking, the scenario that I brought up, what would it hurt for you to enjoy the company of an outstanding guy until you decide to, and you may say it would hurt because in the back of my mind, I would always be thinking about what he's doing with other people, or what I'm saying. I was just trying to get a feeling for why it wasn't practical for you, other than the answer of that's just how I feel. So I mean, if you don't have another answer, that's fine.
Maybe that's just an answer. You know what I mean? It might not be the answer you're looking for. It might not be the answer you're looking for, Rocky, but that don't make your answer not any less valuable.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't have to. If I go into a relationship and I discuss how I feel and what my morals are and what I look for in a relationship, and they discuss what they look for in a relationship, it's called compatibility. If I'm not compatible to you and you're not compatible with me, then we're not going to have the relationship. But it's not saying that what I see and what I feel like I want to portray in a relationship is unreachable. There are plenty of people out there that are thinking the same way that I'm thinking. There's plenty of people that are thinking the same way that you're thinking. So it's just all about meeting that person that's right for you and that's going to be respectful of what your feelings are and how you feel, as opposed to getting started in a relationship. That's just it. I mean, there's no gray areas. It's just black and white.
But here's my thing. I've been saying it since the beginning of the show. It's just sex. Damn. Why we gotta make it so deep when it's clear? I'm just saying, when we make it so much, we put so much on it when it's just a physical act.
I'm not putting nothing on it.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying we, meaning people. It's just an act.
You can sit there and do that all you want to. I don't have problems. If I was sitting here and I said, I'm talking to your buddy right here. If I was,
it looked like you're looking down at somebody.
Because he was making faces. He was making faces when you was doing that. So what I'm saying is, if it didn't work for me, then I would sit here and say, you know what? Maybe I need to go back to the drawing board and maybe I need to do something different. But it works for me and I'm okay in my situation. I'm not complaining. I'm fine.
Okay. Let me give y'all some statistics right quick. And then we're going to go into some situations where it's just fucking sex, period. It's just sex. That's it. Right? Because we're not finna make this into
for me it is
like Mo night, and you want to bash Mo tonight.
We're not gonna make this a referendum on Mo's belief system and other people who believe things the way that she believes it. That's not what we're gonna do. But it helps us to understand why people believe and do the things that they do. That I think that's really much where Rocky is coming from. He's just trying to get an understanding of the thought process behind it, not whether it's right or wrong or it's a good or bad or anything like that, just to kind of get an understanding as to how that comes.
Right. He just made an example. He said he told his son, he gives him an explanation. When I have, like I said, when I sit down and have a conversation.
I'm talking about you, Mo. I'm talking about in general.
No, I'm just saying, people sit and have conversations and they decide what they want to do in their relationship. They decide that this is the path that I want to take. Because I feel comfortable. Because I feel
they should, but they don't.
But I'm just some people do and some people don't.
Well, Mo, I just want to say this. This is the last thing I'm gonna say.
Oh God.
And no, I'm saying when you give a person an ultimatum, negotiable. So you guys aren't deciding to do anything.
Okay, for the fifth time, I never gave him an ultimatum. Maybe not listen to me. I said we sit and discuss. We sit and talk about how
they had a conversation, and she says where she stands. He says, "Okay, I'm good with that," or "No, I'm not." Either way, she like, "All right."
That's called an ultimatum, but okay.
It's not an ultimatum because I'm not saying no. Because if he says,
it could be the other way around. It could be the other way around. He could be like, I have to do it. And she'd be like, no, I'm cool. It's the same way.
Okay, I got you.
It's the same way. Okay, so it's not an ultimatum. She's just putting out what her wants, needs, and expectations are, which we all should do. This one just happened to be around sex. And most of us don't have that uncomfortable conversation because most women aren't comfortable enough to say that because they're scared to lose the man.
Absolutely.
So the fact that she's saying, you know what, this is my position, take it or leave it, we can work around it, you know what I mean? And it's okay. You know what I mean? If you're not with it, that's, you got a lot of women who aren't brave enough to do that because they're afraid that they're going to miss out on some dude, whoever they are. All right. Here's the things I want y'all to kind of keep in mind. Since we're talking about it's just sex, right? We're going to give y'all some scenarios. And I want people to be perfectly clear. Rocky, look at Rocky face. What's that look for, Rocky?
Hey, I was just preparing myself, mentally getting ready for... Okay.
All right. I just, before I do that, I have to say I will be remiss in my duties. It is the bottom of the 8th, I believe, and the Cubs are leading 6-3. So even though I am a Sox fan. I am from Chicago, so go Cubs. I hated to say it. It hurt my feelings to say it. But anyway, so here's the scenarios where we're gonna decipher whether it's just sex or if it's more than sex. Okay? Because a lot of people get it twisted. And we want people to go into these situations clear about what the hell's really going on. Cool?
Cool.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm gonna throw out the scenario. Y'all say, you tell me if it's just sex or you say more than sex. That's all you have to say, okay? And then we can discuss. All right. If all you ever talk about with them via text, over the phone, in person is sex, when you finally do hook up with them, what is it?
Just sex.
Rocky?
Yeah, it's just sex. I mean,
so
now,
people don't
now,
twist it.
now let me also elaborate a bit. This person's or your relationship is sex-based, and you shouldn't have any expectations outside of that.
Exactly, you shouldn't.
So
but here's the thing, though, Rocky. Most people don't. I should say a lot of times, women are bamboozled by this, right? They don't take it for exactly what it is. If that's all y'all ever talking about, if y'all start talking about something else and it always makes its way, and that's the lion's share of your conversation, boo-boo, it's just sex. You just something to do. I'm just saying.
That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
It is a bad thing is if you thinking you want something else. If you want more than that, it is a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would think if someone would want more than that, they would introduce more than that into their conversation and their interactions.
No, but again, we're talking about people who are fearful of being their true, authentic selves in these situations because they're afraid that the dude is not going to stick around.
Okay, all right. I agree.
That's the rule, not the exception, right? You know what I mean? Because if you think about all these thirsty broads out here, and think about the ratio of women to men, there are a lot of women who will lay down on that one because they want to be with somebody.
And like I say, when it goes back to a story I told on the show a few times about how the young lady made a proposition to me that I wasn't able to go forward with. She says, you know, I have been encouraging her in a sexual way, and she said, after we do this, we're gonna be together. And so that really turned me off. She had a complete expectation, the wrong expectation of what she was doing for me. She was solidifying our relationship, and I did not see it as such. And you're right. They do get it. They do think sex. Even when even when it's nothing else, and it's never been anything else.
Because they're in a relationship by themselves.
Yeah, in their own head. They done created
in their own head.
Okay. All right, here's one. If they don't shy away from conversations about relationships or possibilities of relationships, what is that? Is it more than sex or just sex?
More than sex.
Okay.
Rocky.
Now you said
not talking about the Negro that's trying to run game to get in a draw. Yeah, I have to clarify because Rocky's wheels were turning and shit. I see you said.
Hey, cause at the end of the day, you know my position, Kiki. Talking is just talking. That's all you doing. I mean, you can gas somebody up to do anything.
And that's why. Yep. And that's why so many people feeling hurt.
That's why I always go back to doing together. That's a more of a serious indication as to what the relationship is. If my man is meeting you here, taking you out to dinner, meeting his family, all that kind of stuff, then you can rest assured it's not just sex, unless he has a very low regard for his family. But generally speaking, if a guy is showing you what I would consider quality time, then he has, regardless of what his mouth says, he has more of an interest. I have a friend that I work with, and the guy does everything with her. I'm talking about they do all the boo stuff, but he's not serious about her.
Yeah, but you know, there are a lot of y'all that play the boyfriend role but don't want the responsibility. Okay. So that doesn't necessarily mean that he's more emotionally invested than he's letting on. That's not necessarily what that means. That's why I don't want people to get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those situations where if you're allowing him to play boyfriend without there being some understanding that that's your role and that's the expectation, then when shit don't go your way or he does some shit that's out of line and you try to say something about it, it's like, dude, wait, well, honey, this is just what we've been doing. So ladies, another way to know that it's just sex is if you let this mofo come in your space and do boyfriend shit, but don't step up to be boyfriend. Because he has an out. Mm-hmm. He has an out. If he doesn't put himself in go ahead, Rocky.
So that's just a way to keep the back door open and his conscience clear. In other words.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. See, I've never operated under those pretenses. So I didn't get that at all. Like I say, when she explained to me what has been going on and what's been going on and Christmas party and cooking for her and mama and all that kind of stuff, to me that's boyfriend stuff. Dude wants something else. He's, for whatever reason, he just rejecting her for one reason or another. I don't know. I mean, it didn't make sense to me at all. So, but okay, with a clear conscience, he can back out and say, hey, I never said we were anything more than XYZ. So maybe guys need that back door so that they can, gracefully exit. It's pointless to me though, if you're gonna do all of that and not ultimately want to take the relationship to the next level. It's pointless. A lot of energy for nothing, if you ask me. What are you laughing at, Monica?
You are a doozy. You are a doozy.
Why do you say that?
You are. Is Kiki frozen?
I think she is. I think she may have gotten disconnected. But no, just kind of verbalize what do you think about that scenario of a guy, he doesn't want to be boyfriend, says that he has no interest in having a long-term relationship, but he's doing all the boyfriend stuff. Is she playing herself in it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, and like I said earlier, you use that scenario is in her mind, she's in a relationship by herself because he's already tapped out. He's gonna.
Well, no, she says that he's nothing. She, told me he's nothing. He's,
but she continues to do stuff with him.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, so she's in a relationship by herself, so to speak, because he's really not invested in that relationship. You know what I mean? But she's still doing stuff. I'm still going to go out with him. I'm still going to. Why are you doing that? What is the purpose of you doing that?
That's my question, and in continuing to do it, and being her friend, I'm saying that's why you're not getting the kind of action that you want from other people, because if 3 nights a week you hanging out with this dude,
right,
on some friendship type stuff that looks like boyfriend type stuff, you can't get no action on nothing else.
Right.
Exactly.
And
right. You're limiting yourself. And like I said, a few minutes ago, she's in a relationship by herself. But at the same time, if she feels, and that's another thing. some women, like, why stay in a situation like that? Why are we here? Is it because it's just the sex? Why? If he's
Sometimes it's both.
Right.
Sometimes it's sex. Sometimes it's just the fact that they don't want to be alone.
I'm saying if he's not invested in it and he's doing other things, but he's still doing with you, he's a little shady too.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's shady. I think that for as long as he is being upfront about, you know what, this is not me and you, this is us and whatever, we're doing whatever, we were going with the flow, whatever, that kind of thing. As long as that has been established and has never been an amendment to that agreement, then he's not shady. She thirsty.
What if he's not saying that to her, Kiki? He's just going along.
No. Check this here out. I can tell you a little more about it. So, dude is a doctor. So he has this laundry list of things that a woman is his ideal woman, right? So now I would never text a chick this, but he texts her this, right? And so several of them are unattainable for her because of her previous situation. So, they're just unattainable in her current situation. So, so I say to her, I was like, hey, well, why even, entertain him? And he sent you a list of why you're not qualified, but he still wants to take you here and y'all go to the wine bar and hang out and take you on trips and all that. Because I don't get it.
She lets him. That's why. She lets him. She has already set her value to him by continuing on in that way after he done already told her, basically, you're something to do. And that's okay if that's where she wants to be. But she clearly doesn't. So it's not. Keep it pushing. She trying to land herself a doctor who don't want her.
Yeah.
So,
well, right. Like I say, she knows what to say, to make it logical to me. But
she knows what to say to make it logical for herself. The reality of the situation is, if a dude texts me a laundry list of shit to tell me that I'm not good enough to be his boo, right? Fuck you, right? I don't give a shit. And I would be, here's the thing, I'd be damn near embarrassed to tell my homeboy some dude text me. It goes to show what kind of friend you have. Let me tell you, I know she probably gonna cuss you out after this stream, but the reality of the situation is, he has a very low opinion and value. Oh shit, a Mexican bug. Sorry. She has a very low opinion of herself and she doesn't think much of herself, because if she's gonna sit there and say to him or to you that she allowed him to say these things to her, for one, and then for two, she gonna go and tell you that she allowed him to say those things to her and continue to see this mofo on a regular basis.
Well, no. Logically, I was saying, hey, this guy must really want something. Guys don't do that if they don't really want nothing. That's what I'm saying to her, right? She says, I'm telling you, he doesn't want anything. I'm like, man, he's.
But what does she want?
I mean, I wouldn't invest that kind of time in something in that way. None of it doesn't make sense on her part. It doesn't make sense on his part, if you ask me.
It makes sense on his part because he ain't hurting for options. A single doctor got a lot of options.
That would be my deal too. Why?
So, is she divorced? Does she have kids?
Yeah.
See her limits. See, there's a thing about equality in relationships, and he's above her quality level. So of course she gonna put up a little bit more than a motherfucker who didn't have as much to offer than he does. But that's taking us to a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it just being sex, okay? If this motherfucker only call you late at night or when it's convenient for him, it's just sex.
All day,
it's
every
just
day.
Sex.
All day, every day.
If you are expected to leave as soon as the deed is done, fellas, it's just sex. If I'm saying, oh, okay, so what you got to do tomorrow, and I'm grabbing your shit, that's it. I'm only asking you that as a nicety. I really don't give a fuck. Okay, it's just sex, right?
What if you got something to do in the morning?
Huh?
I'm just joking.
I'm ushering you out, not you're choosing to leave.
No. Maybe you have something to do in the morning, and you're asking him to leave. So it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's just sex.
If I have something to do in the morning, we can leave together.
Well, maybe you just don't want to do that.
Yeah,
just wants to meet
sex. It's just sex because I'm just playing. I'm like, it's just sex. If they don't take your ass publicly nowhere, nobody really know who the fuck you are, it's just sex. Rocky over there looking up at the sky like, what you gonna say, Rocky?
Again, there are circumstances.
Oh God. We're not arguing for the exception. We're talking about the rule, Rocky. You know that.
You're absolutely. The rule is if he doesn't spend any public time with you and y'all are banging, it's just sex. Right.
Or her, for that matter, because men don't own the franchise in this one. If you don't know their friends, you don't know their family, you don't know nothing about where they, but about their work life, y'all don't talk about that kind of shit. It's just sex.
All day, every day.
If they don't kiss your ass while y'all having a deed,
oh my God,
it's just sex.
Oh my
God. If they ain't giving you no kind of eye contact while y'all doing the deed, it's just sex. Rocky, I see you over there looking.
Yeah. No reason for eye contact when you just getting it off.
I'm just saying. If your time is always limited, they can only see you in this little bubble of time.
It's what I call you put bookends on the entire visit. You can't be there with this time, and you gotta leave at this time. So it really ain't no wiggle room for nothing else.
Right. It's just sex, and you're quite possibly the other person, the person on the side. If it's always Netflix and chill.
Now he could be broke.
It's just sex.
He could be broke though.
No, I mean that's in between. That's in between. I know people in a relationship.
People come up with creative ways to spend time.
I know, seriously, I know somebody right now who's married, and it's not just sex, and they're married. No,
I'm talking about you seeing somebody.
They just got married, but they were doing Netflix and chill for a while.
But if she got low expectations, and that's okay, because they're on the same page. But if this person wants more than Netflix and chill all the time, and that's all you getting offered, that's what it is. It's just sex.
No,
we're not talking about the exception.
She likes to go out. He doesn't like to go out and do certain things. So they
making concessions. And that's a whole nother conversation. That's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, they Netflix and chill. I Netflix and chill. I think Netflix is cool.
All the time, Mo. All the time.
You know I'm Netflixing it. I'm just joking.
He ain't Netflixing and chilling.
What am I doing then?
If they tell you that I don't want a relationship, I'm not ready for a relationship, I'm not relationship type.
It's just sex.
It's just sex. Damn, don't get caught in your feelings. Don't get upset when this motherfucker don't invite you to shit and you see on his Instagram and Twitter that he out doing all kind of shit that you didn't know about. That you ain't that bitch, right? You not her, right? You just something to do. It's just sex. If you don't get that warm rag, Rocky's face.
How you know about the warm rag?
If you don't get that warm wash rag,
yeah,
you just something to do.
I'm gonna tell you this, ladies. If he throw it at you, rather than bringing it to you, it's just sex.
Or wipe you yourself. You be like, I got it. No, I do it. If he want to do it for you, then it's not just sex. But if he, like Rocky said, if he toss you the rag, like, go ahead, handle this.
Yeah.
It's just sex. It's just sex. Rocky.
And let me say this, ladies and guys. There's nothing wrong with just sex. Nothing wrong with it. Just sex is a wonderful thing.
But you better be
It
safe.
is a wonderful thing.
Be safe physically.
Oh, absolutely.
And be safe emotionally. Yeah. Because again, everybody's not built for just sex encounters. Everybody's not built for that. For a lot of reasons. It could be social conditioning. It could be religious reasons. It could be for a whole bunch of other shit, right? Everybody not built for that. Absolutely. So don't step in that ring if you're not prepared. If you didn't prepare yourself for that bout. Because it's not an easy task to want for something and you getting glimpses of it. It's like this right here. It's right there. And it's like,
hey,
you know what I mean?
Hey, Kiki, but yes. Let me ask you this. Is there a such thing as magical pussy and magical dick?
I'm sorry? Magical? Magical. You sure you want to use that?
I mean, what do you mean by that when you say magical? Is it something
that it can change your mind, change the circumstances,
well,
turn your blue skies, turn your gray skies?
Some people tend to think that they have that.
No, I don't think it's possible because if I don't want a relationship, I don't want a relationship. Period. There's nothing you can do to change that.
So once upon a time, I was told this. I long time ago. And a lady said, I was like, hey, I'm not in the market for a relationship. I don't, I love you. She was telling me that she cared about me. She loved me. And I said, hey, I don't love you. I care about you. And she said, the dumbest thing I've heard, she said, well, you screw me like you love me. And I didn't really know.
Because she think you was making love. That fluffy shit. See, that's that fluffy shit. You was giving her the long deep stroke, and you was using that C-clamp on her.
And I was gonna say, is from a woman point of view, is there a way to can a guy confuse a woman?
Yes, he can. By doing all that shit I just said. That if he's not doing, if he started doing all that shit, if he looking you in your eyes and he kissing you and he's caressing you, and he's bringing you the warm rag and he's doing all those things right there, yes, it can be confusing. It can be confusing if he tell you he wants you to stay, he don't want you to leave, and he want to cuddle with you and shit afterwards. You're like, but I gotta go. And he's like, no, you can't leave. You know what I'm saying? That kind of shit. That's confusing shit. It's confusing if he do some shit like, when like foreplay, he's like, I have to make sure that you taken care of or whatever, when your pleasure comes before his pleasure, and it coupled with all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then he's having these emotional ass conversations with you and shit. Y'all having mental course along with all of this. Yes, that can be confusing and mixed fucking signals.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So you would suggest for a woman or a man to, if they're just having sex, to eliminate that?
Yes, I would say let your words and your actions be consistent. If you saying we just fucking, then just fuck. If it's just sex, let it be just sex. There's no sense in you engaging in pair bonding activities. There's no sense in you sitting up here fronting and doing stuff that you know that you have no intention on backing up later on should somebody catch feelings.
Well, now this is just kind of I don't even say it's a guy thing, right? So, but it is a strategy I've heard that guys use. The more a woman feels for a guy sexually, she is able to engage and produce more. And so maybe guys do use those techniques to get her to perform at a higher level or even explore even more.
Wait, what? So you saying what?
So I'm saying is maybe guys do the hand holding, the pair bonding activity, the warm wash rag delivered to you, first class, first ass treatment, just so each encounter can be even more fulfilling.
Well, see, that makes him a liar and a deceiver. And what they say in
I didn't say he. Well,
or the person.
The person.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. It's kind of like a Jerry Maguire. You shoplifting the shit at this point. You know what I mean? You putting out something that you have no intention on. Follow it. Go ahead, Mo.
Right. I just think like when he said that, just like you said, Kiki, you're like, you have no intentions on doing anything after that. You just want what you want for the moment. You know what I mean? You want to use her to get what you want for that moment. And once it's over and she has exhausted all these things for you, you're out. Because that's what
you have no use for.
And the thing about it is because you figure like, okay, well, she might be good in this area. Let's see how much I can take her to the next area. So I got to give a little bit in order to get a little bit, but I'm not going to take it any further than that.
Mm-hmm.
And you think there's a bit of that's being disingenuous in the area of sex? I never thought about it that way. You're being deceitful. You're being manipulative.
Yeah. Yes.
Basically, you are.
All right.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. You ain't even got to do all that. It's plenty of women out here that's giving it away for little to less work. So, you know what I mean? If you just want some, then don't do that. But don't go and play these games with somebody else.
But some men have to work harder than others. That's why they play those games.
They can work harder than others when they're trying to go up in value. Stay in your value lane or below your value lane. You ain't got to work that hard.
We say, shop on your aisle.
Keep your eyes on your own. All right. Okay. Listen. Hey, Rocky, I'm gonna give you a scenario. You tell me.
Okay.
And don't go in there with your cynical mind.
All right.
Just based on the information. You tell me if it's just sex or if it's more. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here's the situation. They invite you over for a chef cooked dinner served under the stars while listening to the outdoor concert nearby.
Now, it's not just sex, but he may be entertained by the entire event. And there are guys like that.
What you mean?
Meaning that creating the whole ambiance and atmosphere is just part of what he loves to do when he's having sex. But on face value, it's more than, it's not just sex.
Okay. You got one more?
No.
Did you say no? She's like, no.
No.
Okay. What about this? Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. I hope these people aren't listening, but I'm about to put their business in the street. They invite you over for an evening of skinny dipping under the stars. She looked to the left like she looking right at you. She was like,
like Hollywood Squares.
No, the other way, Rocky. Turn the other way. Turn the other way. Yeah.
Oh man. You know, Monica, you can go ahead and answer that scenario.
Okay, so I think I should answer it because I know what it is. So I would say,
go ahead, answer it, Rocky.
You want me to answer it?
Yeah.
No, I mean those are pair bonding activities. Anytime you put the lunar effect in the moment, that's real. That's something that somebody really wants to materialize into something greater than just sex. Absolutely. I mean. Okay.
All right.
The lunar effect is real.
I I agree. The lunar effect is real. When they are more concerned about your pleasure and your comfort level than theirs.
They definitely care about you,
Yeah,
and it's more than just sex. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean they want a relationship.
You said what?
That doesn't mean they want a relationship, but they definitely care about you.
You got any scenarios you want to give to women so they can know the difference between it's just sex and it's more than sex before we do our letter?
Oh man. Well, let me think on it a second. Because
there's always the Chan job. So Chan, I need you to open your mic because I need to know if the Chan job is just sex or is it more? I need to know. Because we need to prepare some people. Because some people have
No, I was gonna tell you one. One is when he only sees you in the club and he only wants to take you home after the club.
It's just sex.
It's just sex.
That's
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like the only time he want to fuck with you is when he just happened to run into you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't talked to his ass in 6 months. You run into him in the grocery store and it's like, well, hey, why don't you come back?
Yeah, it's just sex.
It's just sex. He just try to bang your guts. Okay, Chan's mic is open.
That's the second time I've heard that today. That is so wrong.
What, bang your guts?
Yeah.
What kind of conversation you been having today? Well, hold on. Chan's mic is open.
No, the other person lives with me who said that. My wife said that. But we were talking in different context.
Hold on.
Okay, now what you want to know about the Chan job?
You said there's always the Chan job when we were talking about, mixed signals, or we were talking about, how do you know if it's just sex or if it's more? You mentioned the Chan job. Is the Chan job?
I had mentioned the Chan job when they was talking about is it something magical? Because apparently the Chan job is something magical.
Wow.
I don't know. It changes people's lives. I don't know why. But it changes lives.
No, Chan. That's what I'm talking.
Hey.
That's what I'm talking, Chan. That's what I'm saying.
Negro said it changes people's lives.
Does it change it for the better?
Stand on that, Chan. Yes. Yes.
Rocky said, is it change for the better?
I don't know. That all depends.
Yeah.
From my perspective, it's not.
You got
You
the
don't
job.
change them for the better. What I see,
Man.
the fallout.
Chan, I feel you, Chan. That's why it's worth the wait. It's worth the wait.
I think not.
The Chan job ain't where you start.
Hey man, I had to tell this young fella that. I'm like, dude, this is where you end up. This ain't where you start. I will fuck your entire sexual experience up. And he was like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, you can't start with me. Because then you gonna think that's how it's supposed to be all the way, all the time. And then you gonna get with somebody and they gonna be subpar and you gonna be fucked off. And I ain't trying to give you the good hit. And then you go get garbage and then you gonna be searching forever for the good hit. I can't be that dealer for you. No, I cannot serve you up. I don't. I can't do it. Why you laughing, Rocky?
It always tickles me how ladies hold themselves in such high regard.
No, but let me put you like this.
No, nothing. I'm not saying that it's not true or anything, but I think it's good that women hold themselves in very high regard.
There's a power that we have, and if used improperly, bad things can happen.
Yeah, I got a whole
laughing because she know I'm telling the damn truth.
bunch of kids. So yeah, I know. Bad things can happen.
Wars have been started.
Child support can happen.
Yeah, motherfuckers done stop. They done kill people over it. They done friends done stop being friends. All kind of shit done happen. And they might not even had it. Just the thought of having it.
The thought.
I
Wait a
know
minute.
A few guys that didn't stop eating because of women. Yeah,
What do we know about the thought? Even the thought of it makes you crazy.
Yeah, man. The thought of it can send some people into a whole nother stratosphere. So you can't let them dip their toe in that pond. You can't do it.
So I got one for you.
Okay.
So, if a person, you go to see them, they take you out to dinner, they do everything for you, open the car door, take you wherever you want to go, even ask you if you want to do some things extra because you thought, something might have happened, and they just, wherever you want to go, they will drive 50 hours, whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter. I'm there for you. I am there for you no matter what. Is that just sex, or is that more than sex?
See, here's my deal. I'm always skeptical oversell without a concrete understanding. You know what I'm saying? So
It is so funny how she keep looking over there like she looking at you. It's killing me.
So my deal is, if a guy is trying to make everything in your world right, Monica, why don't you know whether or not it's sex or not?
Because here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this, because I'm not saying it's Monica. I'm just saying from an outsider's perspective, depending on the guy, sometimes he puts in a little bit more work because he thinks she's worth that work, even if it's just to get that. So we can't always discern sometimes if it's just for the nookie, because we always know it's about the nookie, right? That's the end goal all the time, right? We get that. That's not missed on us. But it's sometimes hard to discern if it's more than that too. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. But that goes back to when I explained to you guys about being nice and kind because that's who you are, and then you said that's being a little manipulative. You know what I mean?
No, that's not what. See, that's being nice and kind is not. No, that is not being manipulative. Combining all those things that I was talking about, Rocky, and you being disingenuous right now. You know damn well the difference between somebody's actual nature of them being nurturing, caring, and if they decide that they're going to connect with you on a sexual level, they want to take care of you. We know the difference between that and a motherfucker putting in extra work so he can get what he wants, so he can bounce out.
Oh yeah.
So to answer my question, what do you think the answer to that question is? Do you think that person, or do you think that scenario is warranted just sex or more than sex?
I mean, that kind of effort, I would say, would be more than sex. But again, and because what I want to say sounds kind of tacky, but I'll say it anyway. Why would a guy put in that kind of work, not knowing, what the outcome is going to be, or not knowing what the circumstances are, him not taking the time to communicate